I know that I have this long distance view of it. You just seem to have handled fame at a young age in sort of a very classy way. And that's at least how it appears to me. I've actually I've thought about this a lot, which is I'm not a big drug person, meaning really not at all, but I've long held that probably the most powerful drug in the world is fame. And letting kids have access to it is I have very mixed feelings about it. It's such a powerful thing, and it often doesn't go well. You being famous at 14, 15, 16, that's got to have been something to navigate.
Yeah, I don't think I always had a lot of objectivity or the ability to really analyze myself at those times, those younger ages.
Mm-hmm.
So I never really felt famous. I still forget a lot, and I was never really comfortable with it. So for me, did never feel like power. It sort of felt like something I had to like navigate. Like when I used to live over in Los Feliz in the Oaks, and I would drive around when I was like in my 20s, and I was, I'm a small person. And so being a young woman, very small, and having people follow me or talk to me, strangers approach me and stuff, felt very threatening at the time.
Yeah.
So I did I played this mental game where I pretended that my dad was just this like doctor that everybody loved in town. And I was just like, oh, Dr. Ricci's daughter. And that's why everybody was being nice to me. But not that I was famous.
Yeah.
And that everybody just like really wished me well. And it worked. It worked. I became very comfortable. But then to the point where like I didn't have my guard up enough. And I had to be like, well, we have to end that now.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So the paparazzi thing, did that freak you out when you were young?
I did not enjoy that. Just because people, they'll follow you all the way home.
Yeah.
And I lived by myself. And that felt very threatening. And I found there was a liquor store on the corner of Richter's that's right across the street from the Gelsons over on up there. And Rick was this guy who always worked in there. He was always smoking a cigarette. And he's the only person I would ever let call me Chris. And if anyone ever followed me, I'd pull into the liquor store and I'd go tell Rick, and Rick would come out and chase them off so I could drive home. Mm-hmm. And then one time, my sister and I lived together in our 20s, and there was actually a man that would come and sit outside the house and leave notes on my car and stuff. And sometimes we'd be like ready to go to dinner, but he'd be out there waiting, and we'd be like, oh man. So we would just like turn off all the lights and wait until he left.
Oh, that's not good.
No. But like, so fame was, like, it was great. Like, I get into any restaurant, and I never had problems getting into clubs and all that stuff. But it also was like, there were just like, logistical and security issues that to me loomed larger in my mind than the actual like fun of being famous.
Well, I also think this is something that I don't take into account, which is I am very, I don't ever feel threatened physically by people around because I'm 6'4" and a guy, and I just don't even think about it. I'm very physical myself, meaning like I'm not afraid to shake hands with strangers or whatever, mix it up a little bit. But I'm constantly reminded that if you're not my size, and if you're a woman, especially if you're a young woman, it's a completely different feeling when people are around. And it's not welcome, and it probably sets off all kinds of different alarms, whatever.
Well, I think it just depends, But yeah, I did feel threatened a lot. And I still am a person who's very paranoid and safety conscious. So I still will feel a little threatened if a strange man walks up to me and like touches me or starts just, I don't know, follows me to my car. I don't like that.
You maced me when I came in to say hello to you at the podcast. And you kept doing and then your publicist said, it's Conan. And you said, oh, I know. Oh, okay. And then you took out a separate bottle.
Oh, no.
Yeah, that said extra strength. And you really went to town.
Oh, man.
What the fuck was that all about? I think you were on the late night show 7 times. And I've said this occasionally about other people who were on as kids. I'm going to call you a kid because I thought of you as a kid, that I almost have this feeling that is weird of pride, like that an uncle would have. Do you know what I mean? Like, oh, Christina's coming to do the podcast. I remember her. Hasn't she done well? It's it's weird because I've done nothing to help you.
No, but you did.
Oh, I
you did. Like but coming on your show and being able to promote myself and my work on your show and your support, because you can say like, no, I'm not having that asshole on my show. So like, I've
said that, and they booked them anyway.
Oh, well.
And you're here today. No, but I mean, you're one of those people who I have this strange feeling of, I'm proud of her. She's done well. And then I step outside myself and go, you're not related to her.
Yeah.
You're not, you know what I mean? It's very strange. But I had a lot of nice thoughts and memories today when you were coming on. And I am very happy for you that you've done so well. You just got your star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. What is that like? I mean, are you going to tend to your star? Are you going to go by? Is it like a house plant? I don't know how that works.
I don't know. I mean, it's been there. I haven't visited since the ceremony. I kind of thought about bringing stuff to my star, like my favorite flowers and a candle. But then I was like,
a candle's like,
is that weird?
People will think, yeah, what happened to Christina Ricci?
I guess so.
Yeah, that's
but
not
maybe
good.
In some way I'm like trying to mitigate my feelings of mortality in some way. Like if we already act like I'm dead, maybe it won't be such a huge shocker.
Oh, wow.
It's like when you call yourself 40 when you're only 37, and you're just like, I know I'm getting used to it. I wonder if maybe subconsciously that's what I'm doing. I'm not sure.
That's so morbid.
That's so morbid. But also, I get it. I understand what you're doing because I have a very dark streak and people think that I'm being morbid. And I think, no, I'm actually, I'm
practical.
I find it freeing to think. I've had this conversation with a bunch of my friends that I find it very freeing to think that I don't really matter and then I'm here and then I'm not here. And
I'm not there yet. Like that's terrifying. But I do find it easier to just like accept that we're going to die.
Yeah.
And then, work with that.
So this is what the Hollywood Walk of Fame means to you.
Me. Well, but the thing,
your inevitable death.
But when people bring up like the whole thing is about like legacy and permanency and long after they were like, you have to answer all these questions right afterwards about the star right there at the time. And they're asking you like what it means to you. And I guess my answers weren't quite what they wanted, the person running the press for it. So somebody said, another great thing to say is that, and I was like, oh, okay, so I am tanking this one, apparently. I don't seem grateful enough. But another great thing to say is that I love this because I know that even decades after my death, my children's children and their children will be able to come and visit this star. And I was like,
what?
So like the best thing about this is that once like it involves me being dead.
Yeah, exactly. That seems. Also, we all know apes will rule the earth by then.
Well, the other thing I was
we'll have gotten rid of all
too,
human, remnants of our society.
Not to be like glib about any of it, or not as take it as seriously as I'm supposed to, which I really was moved by it and I really was appreciative. But it is still just concrete. Yeah. Like a bomb could go off and then it's gone.
Yeah.
It's not like nothing is.
There's nothing. There's
indelible.
No such thing as permanent.
There really isn't. So I was like, oh, it's permanent. And the whole time I'm just thinking like, unless someone has a jackhammer or they like expand the freeway or this building falls on this site.
Wait a minute. I love that they're going to expand the freeway and take out a huge set. They're going to take out 900 stars. There goes Clark Gable.
We are living in unprecedented times, my friend.
So you're right.
Anything is possible at this moment.
You're right. So do you like your location?
I do. I was actually really happy. That was the first thing I asked. I was like, where exactly is my star located? I'm at Hollywood and Vine.
What?
I know. It's
That's
like
fantastic.
A really great location.
That's the prime location.
Frolic room is across the street. Little door is like right around there.
Those are bars.
Yeah,
No, but the Frolic Room is historical. The Frolic Room is in women under the influence.
Yeah.
Or woman under the influence.
Mm-hmm. Can I just say, I was offered a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame, and I said, that's really great. Where's it going to be? And they said, the Channel Islands. They said, it's a weird adjunct. You have to take a boat to get there. And I said, who else is there? And they named one Muppet that never made it. His name's Snaffles.
Snaffles.
Yeah. He's made of 3 socks, and he was a big bomb in 1971. I just roll with it, Sona. Just roll with it. I've been drinking.
I love the Frolic Room. I'm sorry. I just wanted to interject.
Let's hear it. And is this a bar that you've both been to?
I think I was there one time, but I always loved seeing it, and that it's in the Jenna Rollins movie, the Cassavetes movie.
I just saw LA Confidential. It's in LA Confidential.
It's in LA Confidential. Somehow it's still lasting.
And
even
Sona,
though
you've been
everything
more
else
than
is
once, I'm
Katsuya.
guessing.
Yeah, I've been. It's a historic bar in LA. It's like a really cool spot.
Right, but it's also a bar, so you've been more than once.
I've been there in the bar aspect of it, where I've had drinks there and I've partied, and I love it there.
Sona, 2 kids now, and she's reformed her ways. But man, well, you lived quite the life.
I enjoyed places. Yeah.
I enjoyed a lot of places also. Sometimes I don't remember those places I enjoyed, so I enjoyed them so much that I don't even remember leaving. But
we're testing your blood right now to see how much you've enjoyed yourself, how much enjoyment you have. You're under arrest for too much enjoyment.
Too much enjoyment.
People are intense about this show. The fans are hardcore, and which is a compliment, because I think we live in an era where if you put the detail and the work into the writing and performing, and you really try and tell an interesting story, there's an intensity to the fandom. It's actually a compliment.
Yeah.
It's like the fans, I think fandom now is very literate. If you look at shows like yours or shows like White Lotus or shows that people are they really get into trying to find the clues. What does this mean?
Yes.
What does that mean? And they treat it the way it should be treated, which is it's an art form, which is nice. It's not just, I watched another episode of show they crank out every week.
Yeah, no, they take it very seriously, and they hold us to certain standards, and they let you know when they're disappointed. And they're quite,
Do you go online and read stuff?
Well, I'm 87 when it comes to technology, so I don't know how to get on Reddit, because you have to have a Google account. My Google account is in Romanian, and I don't know how to change it, so I can't get onto Reddit.
We have some people here who can help you if you want. But
I've heard about all the things, and a lot of the other actresses on the show do read all of the stuff. Like Melanie Linsky, apparently, she told me she reads everything. I can't find everything, or else I might.
My experience has been, if it's dire,
someone will tell you.
Someone's going to tell me.
That's how I feel.
Or if it's an extreme one way or the other, like, Blay will come in and tell me, people really loved that thing you did. And it'll be Jeff Ross who comes and tells me, you got a problem? We got a problem? What did I do? That satanic ritual you did? Apparently it's very offensive. And
it'll be like, fans love the satanic ritual.
Yeah. You'll tell me that, and then Jeff will say, no, people are lawyered up. Jesus has lawyered up.
I feel that way too. Like, people are going to tell me, and sometimes, but it's weird now too, because it's like everything's supposed to be everywhere, but then also things are hard to find. Like, I did this series of interviews with Melanie, and I made some comment about this song that's in the show that I had a lot of pent-up rage about, because the entire time we were shooting, everybody tried to gaslight me and tell me that it was a great song, and I was like, I know it's not, so everyone can stop lying to me. So when we finally went to do the press, I did it, and then my producing partner was like, oh, just see the sites everywhere. And I was like, what are you talking about? And then it was like, this clip was everywhere about, man, the band responded and all of this stuff. And I had absolutely no idea. And I've kind of felt in that instance, somebody should have told me that I shouldn't be bad-mouthing somebody's song. So in a weird way, I feel I trust the safety net, but then I don't trust it so much, because then I'll see things and I'm just like, oh yeah, no, I should have been told about that.
I think there's a lot more of everything. There's a million opinions, and there's a million ways to whatever piss people off. The flip side of it is that because there's so much, people forget.
Yeah, I guess 24
so. I mean, that band won't forget.
Right.
But they shouldn't.
I feel
because
bad.
No.
They have a lot of fans. I was in the, everybody else loved it. It was so clearly they're great, and I'm weird. But I don't find out too much. I just found out recently from Melanie that apparently there are people who really hate our characters, and I didn't know. I just thought everyone loved me. So I'm just going to keep going with that.
Yeah, I think it's good as you get into your 87th or 88th year. Who was it? I think it was Jeff Daniels. He did some show, and the actor Jeff Daniels, and the press started, or critics started to ask him, well, some people think this about this project, or some people think that, and he said, guys, I can't help you. I can't help you. This is the work that I did. And I loved when he said that, the phrase, I can't help you, meaning you do your part, which is you do your work, and I do my work. And then it goes out there and people are entitled to like it or not like it.
Right.
But I don't know that I need to participate in the process of people liking or disliking it. This is what I did. I wish I had that attitude more when I was in my 20s and 30s. I wish I had a little bit more of that, because I was very much, I just want everybody to be happy. And I think it's an improvement to be, some people have that early. Like Bob Dylan had that when he was 19. This is what I'm going to do. If you don't like it, it's your problem, This is how I talk and this is how I sing. It's great, and you're like, how did he have that?
Yeah.
How did someone have that? But I think as I get older, I think, that's what I did. And why should you, Christina Ricci, be actively looking for someone who mistakenly doesn't like what you do?
Yeah. No, I also find that I've never really been somebody who once I'm done, I sort of never revisit it. And that for movies, that's always been totally fine, because you finish it, you move on with your life, then you have to watch it once and answer some questions, and then it's gone, done. Who cares? TV is a little bit different because you keep revisiting the same thing, and the press lasts a lot longer as well. But I've always been someone who has a lot of real life emergencies, just life. There's a drama over here and a family thing there, and your house is on fire and all this stuff. Yeah. And so I've always been like, I don't have the time or mental capacity or energy to focus on something that I can't change.
Yeah. I think that's a healthy way to be. I pronounce you healthy.
Thanks. Amazing.
Yeah. And I think my opinion I have what he's going to say, Sona.
I was going to say, if anyone can pronounce someone healthy, it's you.
Mentally healthy.
Yes. Yeah. I think you're the perfect guy to do it. You're perfect for that.
I'm trying to evolve. I'm doing the best I can to evolve.
I know.
And you've been with me a long, Sona.
You work on yourself.
Yeah. We've been together a long time, and you've seen me try to evolve.
Yeah. You have evolved.
And physically, too. Much more powerful.
I don't know about physically.
I think I went too far.
You're still kind of at the same place.
Okay. Well, all right. Let's change the tone. Shall we change the tone a little bit? I think we should change the tone. Right. Well, Christina, it's been a pleasure for me to get to talk to you again.
Thank
and
you.
I had a very nice, warm feeling when I heard that you were going to be coming in to talk, because I had all these memories from that other life.
Yeah, that's how I feel also.
Yeah. You're like, oh, there's that guy who still can't get his skin still breaking out.
Just stop it. That is not what I thought. Come on. I thought, I've known Conan forever. Our careers kind of started at the same time.
Yeah. I do have that feeling now more and more. If I just see someone that I went to college to that I haven't seen since the 80s, my first overwhelming feeling is, hey, we're still here. Isn't this cool?
Yes.
In a very basic way, we're still here, and you're thriving, and you're doing great work, and I'm just very happy for you.
Thank you. Thank you so much. I was so excited to come and see you. And I do feel like we've been in each other's lives forever,
we have.
Our careers started at the same time, basically.
Yeah.
I mean, my adult career. I'd already had a child's career.
That's right. That's right. I didn't know you then, but yeah, I'm thrilled for you. I really am, and thanks for being here. Congratulations on Yellow Jackets.
Thank you.
And have you started? This is which season is this?
We have not gotten our pickup yet for season 4.
Let me handle that.
So we're all. Everybody's like,
I could make one phone call.
Yeah. Would you?
Yeah,
Thanks.
It won't do it. It'll literally be a phone call where they hang up on me. It'll be to a receptionist, and she will hang up on me, and then I'll call back and go, "Do you know who I am?" And they'll, no, we know. You just have really no power, and we're gonna do what we're gonna do with you. But congratulations, and come back. Let's talk some more.
I would love to.
All right.
That sounds great. Hi, my name is Christina Ricci, and I feel pretty good about being Conan O'Brien's frame.
Pretty good.
Oh my God. I don't think pretty good is a bad thing, but I've had this argument with an ex-boyfriend who was like, why are you always qualifying good? It means it isn't that good.
Yeah.
And I was like, no, it's pretty good.
I'm
like,
falling
really
right into
good.
the old boyfriend mode.
Yeah.
Pretty good. What's wrong with like amazing or really good or just good?
Amazing.
I feel fantastic.
No, too late.
Oh, shit.
Christina, I'm really happy to see you because it's been quite a while since I've seen you, and I have a very nostalgic feeling about seeing you because you came on the show for the first time. I think it was for Addams Family, the first Addams Family movie, possibly. You were a kid.
Was that? But I was like 15, right?
Yeah.
13?
Well, that's to me.
So I think that was for Casper.
Was it for Casper?
I think so.
I mean, you were a kid, and I
was a
remembered
child, yeah.
feeling. I thought you would come on for Addams Family. I remembered Raul Julia came on for Addams Family.
Okay, well then maybe I did come on.
And I thought
for Addams
you
Family.
came on.
You're probably right.
Whatever. Right now, Eduardo's.
I see 1999 and 2005, so I'm not sure where that.
Okay, that's going to
up
be later.
with.
That's going to be like in the Casper area. But see what we've done. And when I say we, this is really on you, Christina. You could have just said, sure, Addams Family.
I'm really sorry.
You know, and then we wait for some nerd to contact us and go, incorrect! But we don't even read that post. What I remember is you were very young. You'd be like 15. I'm a guy in his 30s at the time, mid-30s. And I remembered being a little bit intimidated because you were so convincing as Wednesday Addams. Your deadpan was so amazing. I was very impressed with you and still am, but you just so nailed it at such a young age. And I remember just feeling a little bit like, she could kill me with that look. Do you know what I mean? I was a little bit intimidated.
Well, no one should have been intimidated by me then. It was, just a teenage mess. But do you remember that we lived in the same building in New York also?
I was going to bring this up too.
Yep.
We lived in, there's this building called the Police Building, which there was this.
No, it really is. It was Teddy Roosevelt, not Teddy.
Yeah.
The other.
No, it was Theodore. When Theodore Roosevelt was chief of, it wasn't chief of police.
No, he was chief of police.
He was police commissioner.
He
was police commissioner, which I think is a different title. But anyway, basically, look at us. We keep qualifying each other. No, it was Casper, and it was police commissioner. And it's Ricci with 3 C's. Ricci. You never knew that. There's this cool building downtown. And for a brief period, I thought, I wonder if I'm a cool guy. And I moved into the police building.
No, it was really cool. But I wanted to live there because I had just read The Alienist. And they talked about how there was the tunnel between the building and O'Neill's.
Yep.
So I was really excited about that building.
Which probably doesn't exist.
No. I asked a lot of the janitors and stuff. And they were like, what are you talking about?
Yeah.
I was like, the tunnel.
The Alienist.
They were like, you can just walk around the corner.
Great book. Great novel by Caleb Carr, which is all about late 19th century crime solving, and Theodore Roosevelt's in it because he's the police commissioner at the time. And the police building is this famous old building that they had converted into apartments. And here are the people that I remembered. I walked down to my apartment, which is the end of the hall. Occasionally I'd see you. I'm like, wow, Christina Ricci. Also, Kyle MacLachlan.
Yes, Kyle lived there.
And he lived there with his girlfriend at the time, supermodel Linda Evangelista.
Oh my God. I rode in the elevator with them one day, and she was really the most beautiful woman I'd ever seen in real life.
Well, I've got a runner-up for you, or maybe a tie.
Really a
which
tie.
Is the other person who lived there. I don't know if they both lived there, or if one of them lived there and the other was staying there. Cindy Crawford, and Randy Gerber.
Oh, but also Christy Turlington lived there.
And
at
Christy
the same
Turlington.
time.
Okay. So you've got all these
and
people.
Francois Nars, like all these crazy, crazy big people.
But
They used to be at
also-
the gym with my mother. My mother would be like, I had a wonderful talk with Christy today when I was on the treadmill.
Insane, right?
Yeah.
So I was thinking, maybe I belong here, and I was flooded because this is Conan. I mean, I don't belong there now. There was no time when I belonged there, but I don't know, I want to say I'm 34 years old, still trying to figure out how to dress like I'm not in high school. And I've been doing the late night show for about 4 years. And I remembered one day rushing to get on the elevator, getting on the elevator, and it was it was Cindy Crawford and Randy Gerber looking. I threw on a t-shirt, like a Who Farted t-shirt, and like some shorts and probably like Birkenstocks, and ran on the elevator after still had acne, ran on the elevator, and I'm like, hold the door. And I get on, and it's those two glowing, just glowing. And I think they like kind of made out on the elevator on the way down. And I was like, I'll have a girlfriend one day. You'll see. But I remembered seeing you
Lurking about.
Super cool.
I was not. I was a total wreck. I was in
Were
like
you?
Garbage Pail Kid style moment.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, no, I had decided that if I was going to be that ugly anyway, that I was going to dress as hideously as possible. So I wore like a lot of conflicting colors and really big pants and men's underwear, and just was my whole style. Garbage Pail Kids.
Well, I don't know why you had that self-image. That's
I was a teenager.
You're a teenager, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so you had the dysmorphia going for you. You know, from my lens of, Christina, those times that you would come on, or Jamie Lynn, the times you would come on, I would see you in this very, I loved that format, but it was, from The Sopranos, from Married from Children, Christina, Jamie Siegler, bum, hey, what's going on? And it's this.
I could listen to you do that all day.
I know.
I know, me too.
I know, but I swear to God,
So
it was 30 years of my life, and it's in my head where I'll be brushing my teeth and I'll be like, all right, we're back. I'm using Crest toothpaste because it gets it white, But I guess it's still a conversation, and I was still getting to know you, and you are these, much younger than me, but you're these stars. And now I'm checking in on you in this very different way. And it's nice. It feels really nice to speak to both of you. And I'm sorry that both of you got hit with this sack of shit, because that's what it is, for no reason. I'm really sorry about that. And
I pooped myself yesterday, so that goes on brand with
me
what
too.
we're talking about.
I'm just
Yeah.
saying.
Just saying.
But I'm saying it's very nice. I'm grateful for this medium that allows us to talk this way and check in, and people, a lot of people can hear it and hear how you're doing and hear about your podcast, which and it's just I'm very grateful that we get to do this.
Me too.
Thank you. I've been my favorite moments, honestly, Conan, when I would come on there for like the 30th time or whatever, was when we'd go to commercial and you and I would just talk.
Yeah.
It was like the best thing ever. Like the show was over, the pre-interview, we did our bits, I did my stories, and you and I would just sit and talk during that two and two Chuck Woolery.
Yeah. And I remember it.
Yeah.
I don't know. Is it really 2
in
minutes
the
and 2
commercial
seconds?
break, trying to do that with Jamie Lynn, and she said, "This interview's over." And
Yeah, usually.
That's so
Usually.
Jamie.
But
she said this interview's
I've
over,
never-
and then she said, "My people," and 7 people came and took her away. And one of them hit
Yeah,
me.
right.
that's exactly what would happen.
That is not what happened.
Well, I was actually going to say, I've just never felt very good at this that side of this business.
Yeah.
It's just always felt like, I don't know. It just, it would bring out insecurities and things in me that weren't great.
Mm-hmm.
However, doing your show, and I mean this with every part of me. There was never an ounce of nerves. You maybe the first time because I was such a fan, but it was just, you always brought ease and enjoyment.
Good,
I would
good.
leave on a high and so happy. Like I just had the best, 20 minutes of my life. So thank you.
You would
'cause
get 20
I really,
minutes? I'd get like 8 to 12.
No, you would get.
I was counting commercial breaks.
Christina would get like 5 at the most.
Well,
That's
why she kept coming back.
I would also,
I knew if I was cruel to you, Christina, you'd keep coming back, and you did.
Of course. Well, I did. That's why I got that.
How it works.
Cleaning closet. But I was going to say, what was so awesome is that you listened. We sometimes wouldn't even get to the questions, man, because you were like one of the only ones who listened, who didn't have like a vacant look on their face waiting for the next, like, get to the part that you're supposed to say and let's get to the next question. You would listen. And so you and I would just, it did feel like real and loose, and it wasn't a show. I love you.
Yeah.
You know that I've always absolutely adored you.
Well, I was coming in today. I knew I'd be talking to both of you, and I was thinking I really want to check in with them because I care about these people, and I'm invested in them because I have this avuncular, like, well, I knew them when they were these young ladies that used to come by, and I would make a cookie for them and talk to them, and and I want to see how they're doing. And I'm so, again, I'd do anything in the world if I could change this reality for both of you, and I can't. But anything I can do to raise awareness, to do anything. I mean, my father was a scientist who devoted his life to trying to find ways to make people better. And my hope is that science will find ways, and anything we can do. I mean, anything I can do to help both of you. And I'd also like to come on your podcast.
We would oh my
love
God.
it.
Seriously?
Well, I didn't think Conan was going to make me cry today.
But here's the thing. I want to talk about my fee.
Oh.
It's $100,000. And it's got to be it's cash in a suitcase, or I fucking
That's
walk.
more than I've even made doing the podcast.
Well, listen, sister. Okay? It's time for me to get tough with you, too. All right?
Okay.
I'm not going to soften up because of this whole MS thing. I get top dollar.
You're the next bitch they're going to talk about?
Yeah. This bitch
Jamie,
wants
I'm texting you right
$100,000
now.
to come on the. David is right here, and David's the one that does the schedule. He's in charge of my life, but I would love to come on and talk to you on your podcast.
Thank you.
And do, I consider us friends, and I would like to help. So let me know what I can
Thank you.
do. And I'm just saying that
Thank
because
you so
is
much.
once this is over, I'm not going to do anything. You know that. This is
Right.
just
Of course.
that.
But this is the image you need to put
Right.
out.
So
This is
it's
what's
been
called-
recorded.
This is what's
and
called
it's-
performative. This is me. Is the paparazzi here, and they get a picture of me going to the hospital to visit, the people, and then I go out the back and I shop for a Rolex.
There you go.
Yeah.
Real
So
Hollywood secrets here. I like it.
no,
Stuff,
I
guys.
really want to come do yours, and
Yeah.
and really, I really want to get into the bitches thing. So
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, maybe we should save the bitch conversation for when Conan comes on.
yeah.
Oh, that's so bad. You guys, it's so bad. It's almost this particular thing that happened this week is like, I don't even know if I can even talk about
Well,
it. But
I've
I'm
got
just
my
gonna
own bitches to talk about. 2 of whom are in
Okay,
this
you
room.
can talk about your you can talk about your bitches.
I'm looking at one of them right now,
No.
Eduardo.
Eduardo?
Catching strays over here.
No, hey, that's not a stray. That is, you know what you did, and you're going to pay for it. Fuck with my microphone. I love you both, and
love you too,
I
babe.
haven't even said
Love
that. I
you.
never said that to my parents, so I should say it to you. That's not true.
Oh.
I'm kidding. Wait a minute. Hold on. Checking. Nope. 1977. The summer Elvis died. I told them. I'm in your corner, and let me know what I can do, and I will see you on your podcast. We'll talk about bitches.
Yes, you will.
And I'm thinking about you both, and
Thank you.
and sending you whatever crazy Irish Catholic energy is within me, half of which is malevolent, Sure. But
I'll take it.
Yeah.
You know what you can send me? Because I ask all my very, very, very wealthy friends.
Yep.
$6 million.
Okay.
Just like not a loan.
Jesus, I made that today. I mean,
Okay. Just
Yeah.
$6 million. $6
Yeah.
million. I know it
weird.
sounds
Yeah.
weird.
No, I just
But I
closed.
asked Ed O'Neill for
I
$6
bought
million.
an-
I ask him every time I talk to him.
I just bought and closed an orphanage, and I got $6 million.
Okay, there you
So,
go.
and then I have a lot of investments with defense contractors who make Claymore
Okay.
mines.
Yeah,
Those are the
yeah, yeah.
mines that really. Yes, ladies, just have a Christina. I hope your day gets better, and
Thank
it
you,
is
honey.
really lovely to talk to both of you. And weird thing to say because I'm not your uncle, but I'm really proud of both of you. I'm extremely proud of you.
Thank
So let's just.
you.
I'm your
Thank
comedy
you.
uncle, your weird comedy uncle. And
Nothing
we're
better.
getting creepier.
Only kind of
sweetheart.
uncles we want.
okay, yeah, the weird comedy uncle with the red wig. And
That's right.
be well. And thank you
Thank
so
you.
much for being
Thank
here
you.
today and sharing with me. I really appreciate it.
I love you.
Thank you for having us.
All right, bye.
Bye.
You guys started talking together, and at
Yeah.
one point, because there's a lot of new technology and new kind of types of broadcasting and reaching out to people that can feel invasive and lame. But I do think that podcasting is particularly well suited to what the two of you were talking about because it's so intimate and people can really hear what both of you are going through. It's a great thing that this medium exists right now for what you're doing and for the message that you're trying to get out. And not even that it's a message, it's conversations that both of you are having that feel very confessional and that feel like there's no topic. You're not working through, okay, we're going to get to this, then we're going to get to this, then we're going to get to this. It very much feels like you two are hanging out, and there are good days and bad days.
We never really have a plan. I mean, obviously, when we have a guest, most of the time there's someone that we know quite well.
Right.
So that's easy to just talk with them. We don't have a list of questions really. I mean, if we start to go off the rails, our producer will text like, hey,
She
let's
starts texting us.
She starts texting and going like, bring it back to something, to like a subject. But I was going to say that with the podcast, it wasn't like Jamie and I were like, how can we go around talking about this? I mean, I was actually getting my infusion for my MS, and Jenna Fisher from The Office, who's a good friend of mine, she came to hang with me for the 6 hours that it takes. And she's like, and she knows my humor and the way I talk. She's like, you've got to do a podcast, man. And then it was like, after that, Jamie and I started talking. I was like, oh my God, this is like our lives. And I feel so much better every time I'm talking. Sorry about that. That's my phone telling me to put my feet in a hot bath with Epsom salts.
Your phone tells you to do that?
Yeah, well, it does. It knows that I'm in pain and I need to do it. I have an alarm. For 1:30.
This is going to lead into an ad.
What does
for
your phone tell you to do?
Nokia. My phone
don't even know what
my phone tells me to stop going on that site. It's creepy. I'm like, what's creepy about it?
That's the thing with it really came from our conversations. We always wanted to be honest and raw and real and not have a plan, because sometimes the best plan is to have no plan. And then other times I'm told to be quiet and to stop talking so much by our producer.
No.
Yep.
Not by me.
Not by you.
But I also, too, MS looks different for everybody. It affects everybody differently, whether it's day to day or just, body to body. And I think it's about, giving yourself the grace and the space to express what you need to feel in the ups and downs of it. And also to, not a lot of people know a lot about MS. So to also educate. But in general, I think, and we have learned that the more specific you get with your vulnerability, the more universal it becomes for other people. So, we get to hear from a lot of other people that listen to us that don't just have MS, that, hear what we're going through and hear what we're trying to push through and accept and all those things through their own filter and how they sort of apply it to their lives. And so, over the past year, it's really been an exercise in Christina and I getting to know each other and sharing a lot about our lives.
Right.
And I feel like now it's not fully transitioned, but we've opened ourselves up now to having a lot of people really try to help us,
Yeah.
help us individually and where we're at. And, we're still here, and we have children and dreams and lives and friends and people that we care about. And we're trying to figure out how to, make it the best we can.
It's also, and that's important to point out, it's not, I think one of the reasons it's such a great idea is that it's not, hey, if you've got MS, you should check out Messy. That's not at all what it's about. Sure, if you do, then yes, but it really is about people struggling. And actually, people that people that, for both of you, there are a lot of people that grew up watching you and have an emotional connection with you. And that's something that's very powerful. That gives you this gift of, they know you. They know you, and you're part of their lives. You're part of a part of their life that they're only going to be that old once, and you were a big part of their life then. And so now they're getting the gift of perspective, of whatever that means. Everyone has stuff in their life, but I'm constantly, we just had these fires out here in LA and so I'm living in a hotel and people will say to me, oh, I'm so sorry. And I cut them off and I'm like, I'm living in a hotel. I know a lot of people who lost their homes. I have been inconvenienced, but it's stupid. I feel stupid when anyone says anything to me because I know many people who work here, two people that work here lost their homes, and a lot of my writer friends on The Simpsons lost their homes, and a lot of people in and around my neighborhood lost their home. And so I did not. I'm in a hotel, and so my complaint is they don't make the smoothie quite the way I like it. It's not the way I would do it if I was at home. What's wrong with the world? Why does God hate me? God! Why have you...
You need to come on Messy and talk about it.
Yes.
I'll talk to you about whatever you want, honey. Smoothies. We'll call it smoothie.
Ladies, I'm here to talk about there's this guy at this high-end hotel in Beverly Hills who... but no, I think that perspective is not something you get and then you have. Like someone gives you a gold pocket watch and you have it in your pocket the rest of your life. I always think it's like stomach crunches or any kind of, you just, unfortunately, you've got to keep doing it or stretching or, any of the rehab or anything of the exercises that you need to do or self-care you need to do, you have to keep at it. I think that's way about perspective. We just have to keep at it because yes, I am this, but these other people are going through that. And it's always the yin and the yang. It's always going to be that. And so I think the fact that the two of you are sharing this, and Christina, when you were saying earlier, oh, I'm sorry, I'm getting weepy, I'm having a bad day, the whole point is to tell us that and to let it happen.
I mean, we've covered so many topics too. I mean, it's not like if we just sat there and talked about MS all day, we'd be like, wah, wah. Or probably not. I'd just be crying the whole time.
Right.
We've had episodes about eating disorders and bitches, like just
well, wait a minute. Let's talk about bitches for a second. I mean, let's now you've got my. I mean,
go for it, Christina.
I was really liking this, but now it's another level.
She knows that I get pissed off when I lay back when we're recording and I go like this. like my fire, my anger inside of myself talking about bitches. Just people who are just bitches. I don't know, just bitches.
So bitches,
awful humans.
Bitches is all genders, right? It's everybody.
Of course.
Like,
Yes.
it includes me, is what you're saying.
You're my biggest bitch ever.
I knew I'd make it.
You are.
I
my
made it to
the top. Well, I haven't even told Jamie because Jamie and I are probably going to record next week because whatever. And I have so much to tell you about some bitches.
I can't wait.
Now, do you
Mama
say that?
Tune in.
Do you say
Mama
the name?
got vicious in the text messages.
Do you drop names? You don't drop names.
I don't. No.
I think we should. I mean, why not? Well, what we have had though is a lot of like past co-stars. Like we had Ed O'Neill, we had Edie Falco, and it was really interesting and wonderful to like have these conversations with people that knew us when we were kids, you know, in our like formative years, and really get their perspective of us, and for also to like have a conversation like with Edie where she forever felt like a mother figure to me because of the way we met. But now to have a conversation as two women, you know, and peers in a way, it's been really beautiful to be able to like have these deep personal conversations on the podcast with people that are important to us, that also people like relate to us, but to get to see a different side of it.
We live in this, as you know, this weird culture with probably misaligned priorities, where if you're a, quote, celebrity, people expect that you shouldn't have anything to complain about. And that you're allowed to have problems, but sometimes I think you're expected to have problems that are self-destructive problems, like addiction, or you blew all your money you know, you did stupid things. But I think there's almost like a sense that, well, wait a minute, you can get sick, you can get this disease, but you were on television. I know that sounds like I'm saying something that would be painfully obviously true, but I think there is a little bit of a hiccup where you're both beautiful, talented, you know, actresses that people know from iconic work. You got sick? What do you mean you got sick? What did you do? No, I didn't do anything. It just happened, and it happens to a lot of people. Does that feel that there's a weird way in which it's not fitting the narrative of being a successful, celebrity?
Well, I think one of the things that I've come across, you know, I mean, and I don't really leave the house anymore. And I mean, if people saw what my life was like on the daily, they wouldn't be able to do it, because I can sometimes not do it. It's really, really hard. But I think that the first thing that I hear from people is, how did you get it?
Yeah.
Meaning I must have done something wrong in my life to have this disease. I did it to myself. It's like I had breast cancer as well. So, you must have done something.
Yeah.
You know, and that stigma is, you know, I'm used to it now, but it was for a while, like it was so hard to swallow, because why the F would you think that I would do something to have this?
Yes.
Because this is the worst thing I've ever had in my life. This is the worst thing I've ever gone through. So
do you know?
I'm the crybaby of the two of us.
Cry all you want, and then I'm going to start crying.
I'm just having a pissy day today. I'm having a bad MSE day. So
I'm sorry. Well, no, but cry, and then I'm going to cry, and I'm going to make my assistant David's here, and you'll cry.
Yeah.
I make him cry all the time.
Every day.
Okay.
Every hour.
I'm very verbally abusive.
This is what this podcast does to people.
Yeah. Huh? But mine is just like me being really verbally abusive.
Yeah, if he doesn't make at least 5 people cry a day,
I feel like I haven't done my job.
Day. Yeah.
I'll tell you obviously, Christina, where it comes from is it's terrifying to people that shit happens. And so people need to work backwards and say, okay, wait a minute. Did you eat a lot of food with zinc in it? You know, no, I didn't. Did you take like a lot of escalators? Some people can get MS. No, that's stupid. That was online. No, whatever. I'm making shit up clearly, but it is
you'd be surprised at the cures that I get told about. Like, I have this holy water, and I know it will cure your MS. I'm like, really? That's amazing, because there's millions of us across the globe who still have it.
Right.
And have probably, done this with the holy water. I mean, come on.
Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah.
Well, I think that's
the
part of
the fear.
Part of the gift of the position, I think, that we have, that it's, taken me a long time to accept. I think, acceptance is hard for anyone, no matter what you're dealing with. I think it's like a huge challenge in your life to accept that a situation is what it is. But what I'm looking now as an opportunity is what I thought would sort of bring me out of this business. And even when I was out about having MS and working, and it was always people very helpful, like, oh, we'll just walk around it, or we'll get you a walking double when the person walks away, so you look able-bodied and normal.
Right.
Now it's at this point where I'm like, no, if you want to cast me in this is the body I'm in, because my life doesn't revolve around MS. If anything, it could enrich a story. And I think that we don't see enough people like us on camera. We don't see enough people that have disabilities that are not defined by their disability within a story a lot of the time. And so, I think that we do have a position and a power now to really try and change the perception around that celebrities can get sick, but that you can also keep like doing what you love and keep living your life. I think that it's very scary for people. And yeah, you can feel like, people are superhuman when they're a celebrity, but no, we're just human beings that are doing what we love. It just happens to be in front of a lot of people.
Right.
And now we can use that power for something else.
It's weird. It's an occupational hazard. I always think it's an occupation like working in a shoe store or anything else. It just has this other side to it, which is people recognize you. They recognize you from working in a shoe store.
That's how Jim Gandolfini felt. I'm sure
really?
He told you that on that plane. He's like, why don't you want my plumber's autograph? Like it just didn't make sense to him why he had to have that piece of this,
Right. I can completely understand that. One question that came to me is, and this is for both of you, and maybe I'll start with you, Christine, is what's the first symptom, or when did you start to think something feels off? Is it subtle, or does it hit you like a ton of bricks?
It was January 2021. My mom had just been diagnosed with cancer for the third time.
Mm-hmm.
And there was some other stuff going on in my life. And it was a really stressful, traumatic time. And my toes started to feel numb. Just my toes, like a little bit. I was still hiking. I was still playing tennis. I was still doing all the things I could do. But my toes weren't feeling right. And eventually, over those months, it grew from my toes to my ankles to from my knees down. Is a whole other ball game.
Yeah.
And I was losing balance, but the pain was extraordinary. And when I say numb, it's numb, but it hurts.
Yeah.
So it was like these very subtle things that happened. And finally, someone was like, "Well, it was actually Selma Blair said, can you please go to the neurologist?"
Yeah.
And I was like, "No, there's no way that the both of us." From the same movie have MS. I was like, you crazy. And that was the end of it for, and by then I had gotten so bad and I was in the middle of shooting Dead to Me. So we had to really stop for a minute and figure out how to do this. But what's interesting is I look back over time, and probably for 6 years, I was having weird things happening. Like fluorescent lights would bother me and make me dizzy. And being up on a platform, I would get afraid of the height. I was never afraid of heights. I'd be playing tennis and my right leg would buckle and I'd be like, ooh, I must be dehydrated or it's too hot out here. I mean, they were the tiniest little things that you would completely ignore otherwise because there's probably an answer for all of them. Mm-hmm. But the numbness in my toes and as it started to grow up was very much announced in my fingers and it starts to, over time, it gets worse, but that's how it happened.
And when you say you've referenced, I think twice now, that you're having a really bad day, what does that mean? You're having a really bad MS day. How does that manifest itself? Is it in the physical? Is it dealing with it? It's the physical and that affects you also emotionally too, I imagine.
Well, yeah. I mean, to go to the bathroom, it's like walking on needles and hot lava. So I haven't really been able to get out of my bed today. So I'm having just a bad symptomatic day. And that can be, from anything and I always get scared that this is now my new normal. And I get afraid that this is the new normal. And then I'll have a day where I'm never good. I'm just less shitty.
Yeah.
So those less shitty days, I'm like, oh, okay, so that was just a symptomatic day. It was like either I didn't sleep enough or I didn't eat enough or I'm stressed out. A lot of times stress or, anything like that really affects it, can make it much worse. But there isn't a day where I'm skipping down, skipped Malou down the street. Although I try sometimes, right, Jamie? I'll send you videos. I'm like,
You
I'm
will.
trying to skip. I'm skipping today.
Yeah, exactly.
And then like then 10 minutes later, I'm like, I can't move a thing.
Can't move. Or else she doesn't have MS. There's TMZ footage of her skipping down the lane, singing
She's
Skip
making
Maloo.
it up.
This is
Damn,
bullshit.
I'm good. Damn, I'm a good actress if I'm making this one up.
Applegate is so full of shit. Always was.
I would much probably get an Oscar for having Tourette's than I would for and I'm not making fun of Tourette's because I love Balin out loud. I don't know if you guys have seen it, but she's real beautiful and I want to be her best friend. But for the cussing. You know.
But also I've noticed that you've always had and I love that you get to do it on Dead to Me. You get to say some of the meanest things on Dead to Me.
So much fun.
And you do it where it's like, yes, you're a really good actress, but I can also tell that you're accessing some part of you that wants to tell somebody he's a fuck stick.
Yes, I know. I don't know how Liz Feldman knew that I existed on the planet. Like she wrote it; it was already there.
Yeah,
and then she was like, "Oh my God, this is you," and I'm like, "Sadly, yes." Sadly.
How did you know I had a filthy mouth and a lot of rage?
The best acting job I've ever done is being Christina Applegate out in the public. That is my greatest apogee.
That's your Oscar.
Smart, funny.
Yeah. Everything's good.
Cheery.
Yeah.
And then I'm home and I'm like, fuck that shit.
That's what podcasts are for. And
That's right.
And Jamie Lynn, when did you know that? What happened? How was it for you? Is it the same? Does it start with like tingling in the toes or what?
Yeah, that was actually pretty similar for me. When I was 19, I had something similar, like weird numbness in my toes, and then it was rising over a couple of days. And it was actually right before we were starting the third season. And I ended up in the emergency room and then the ICU for 14 days. Nobody could figure out what I had. They had ruled out MS at the time because there was no findings on MRIs or whatever. And I got diagnosed with Lyme's disease actually initially. And they had me on a bunch of steroids and antibiotics. And in hindsight, I think the steroids is what like picked me up out of it. But a year and a half after that, started to get that numbness again and went to I was in the middle of the fourth season. And I started to feel the numbness. I thought I was just going to kind of ask for more antibiotics. And they redid testing and diagnosed me with MS. So it was shocking and not at all what I was expecting to hear.
And to hear it, at that age, you've got to just be, I don't know, felt like you got hit like by a meteor, like you're standing in a cornfield and a meteor hit you. Like it's.
Yeah, it's weird. I can remember sitting in the hospital room and my parents were there and I had two friends too. And the doctor was talking. After he said it, it became kind of like in a movie where all of the talking just starts sounding like muffled and like the room kind of gets dizzy. And I just kind of blocked it out. We went home. I spoke to my family about it. I went to a doctor's appointment for like a checkup for the show. Like you have to get like a sign off that you're healthy. And I told him and he told me I wouldn't repeat that again. And so that's what I did. Wow. I just kept it quiet.
I didn't know that part.
Yeah, I mean, he was trying to protect me, and I understood, but
it's a hard one to hold in, though, babe. Especially when you are the best at teaching me to advocate for myself and to have boundaries on set and to say, hey, this is what I need. You gave me that power, and for you to have to go every day and take that
pretend this isn't even happening.
No, I can't
feel like
even.
You can't talk about it.
It makes me want to sad face.
Well, it's interesting because we have all these fears. There's a terror. It's not, just in our culture. It's in many cultures. But particularly we have a terror of people who maybe we've idolized or put up on a pedestal in any way, being sick. The same way we do, there's this whole attitude about people getting older. And that's something where people are constantly feeling that they need to scrub how old they are or do things or go through ridiculous procedures to make sure that nobody thinks that they're the age they are. It's another kind of, let's just pretend that this doesn't happen to people. And I've taken the very bold move of having no work done. And I think...
So brave.
So brave.
You're so brave.
Thank
You're
you.
so brave.
Well, I think of the three of us, I'm the brave one.
You are.
Okay.
And in a way...
You're the hero. You're
I
the
think
hero, Conan.
maybe the one who's been through the most. Because, I mean, maybe I'm going out on a limb here, and I'm told I don't have the best sense of the room.
Yeah.
But I'm just letting it go as a 44-year-old man. I'm just letting it happen.
No one is fact checking this.
No, there's no internet. Never was and never will be.
Hi, my name is Chris Robinson, and I feel confused about being Conan O'Brien's friend.
I don't see why you'd be confused. I think we have a natural affection.
We do, but I get mixed messages from you. I'm a Sagittarian and I'm very sensitive, and you know what? I need more attention.
You need more attention from me?
I'm the lead singer. Don't you know about the attention levels that are like flowing through me at all times?
You're going to get so much attention from me. I adore you. You know that. I am a massive fan of your work, and we can get into all that. But boy, you talk about, oh, man, I've always wanted to meet Chris Robinson. And then from the first time I met you when you would come on the late night show, you were so goddamn hilarious. And then I ran into you recently, and let's just say we hung out for a little bit.
Let's just say.
Why you gotta
see what I mean about these mixed messages?
Let's just say there was a hang. There was a hang with the Robinson brothers. Maybe we did, and maybe we didn't.
Yeah.
And some tequila was involved, some high-end tequila.
Yeah.
We had a really good time, and you were making me laugh so hard. And at one point, you said something to me. I think you mentioned your wife, and you said. And I said, oh, your wife? And you said, yes, my third wife. And then you said, I'm not afraid to love, Conan. And I started laughing.
And it's true.
I started laughing so hard. And you were that level of funny the whole time.
Well,
and I was just so delighted. You're a very talented musician, frontman for one of the great bands of all time. And I also think you are a comedian. I think you are a really funny fucking comedian.
My initial foray into the business we all know as show.
Yeah, thank you.
Was when I was a teenager, I didn't know what I wanted. I knew I wasn't probably going to be the manager at a Barnes and Nobles or whatever.
Because you didn't try. You need to really dedicate yourself.
My dyslexic reality has made it very difficult for me in the day job world. But so I had an acting class, and I was horrible. I was a horrible actor. But the guy who ran it had like a local cable show. Mm-hmm. It was like a sketch comedy show, and I would be like, oh, I can do the rabbi who sells, barbecue or whatever. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly.
He thought I wasn't a good actor, but he thought I was funny, and he was like, oh, write some sketches. So, and then I started doing that, and then the very first thing I ever did was stand-up comedy at this club. I opened for, like, what's the guy's name? Washington, older,
George Washington.
Not that guy.
Okay.
No, he never did. He always
There's
performed.
other people than George Washington.
Okay.
I mean, there's just. I mean, he's a very big one.
Okay.
You went right to the oldest and the most famous Washington.
Yeah. Which is cool that we could just narrow it down so quickly.
Well, clearly, whoever this was made it big.
It was no, but he's big. He's big. He's a black comic. He wears he's older. He wears a Kangol backwards.
Oh, George Wallace.
Oh.
Yes, George Wallace. You confused him with another famous statesman.
George. Yes. Make America George Wallace again. They're doing it in Alabama.
Opened for George
Wallace. But yes, George Wallace. I opened for him.
That's crazy.
And it was horrible.
I didn't know any of this. This is
He was funny. It was horrible. I do wonder sometimes, though, if I had, you know what I mean? Because like anything else, you practice the dark arts. Comedy is a whole world, an entire dimensional thing, and something that's very important to me. Laughing and just things that I think are funny. But I'm like, wow, what if I had commit? You know what I mean? Because when music was the thing, I was like, there was never any turning back. You know what I mean? You had to completely immerse yourself into maybe what the future could hold if if whatever.
But trust me, Chris, you chose wisely because every comedian, myself included, we dabble. I walk around. I play my guitar in front of the mirror still at my advanced age. I dream about, getting to live that life. And I don't even mean in a big way. I mean, if I was just touring and just barely getting by in an old van.
See, I do the same thing.
I would do
I feel like
I would do that.
I'm at the Chuckle Bucket in Oklahoma. And I put on 50 pounds. And it's like Jake LaMotta talking at the end of his career. And I dream too. Can I dream?
You can dream. You can dream.
You guys should switch. You take on the Black Crows and you take on this podcast.
I know, but he's been very successful. My dream, but like he said, his music dream goes to like
mine would. I'm telling you, I would
like
take
Johnny Thunders in New Orleans the last day before it's all over. Was it a crime? We don't know.
I would take down the Black Crows instantly. You would let me borrow the Black Crows for one day, and it would be nope. It's over. Classic. And you can never use that name again. I remember very clearly, and I've talked to you about this, but your band was very important to me at a very important time. So around 1990 is when around the time I'm leaving SNL. I'm going to go work on The Simpsons, and I am driving around a lot alone, and I am listening to Shake Your Moneymaker until the thing just, I think I had this is back when you would slide a CD into the Ford Taurus you were driving around, and that's a true story.
God forbid a cassette gets in there.
Yeah, God forbid, yeah. I think my problem was I was shoving a cassette into the CD slide. But it sounded great still. I listened to that, and I thought, this is so great. And then flash forward a little time, and I'm about to leave The Simpsons, and I know that something big is going to happen in my life. I can just sense it. I'm about to take on this late night show. And the Southern Harmony and Musical Companion comes out. And for my money, as much as I know Shake Your Moneymaker was the atomic bomb blast, I think the Southern Harmony and Musical Companion is a perfect.
Thank you. I mean, I think it's probably our, it's our best one. It's
absolutely fantastic. And I listened to it and I listened to it and I listened to it. And I would listen to Remedy and then into Thorn in My Pride. And I would drive around at night like a serial killer without the killing part.
Yeah.
Which, kind of ruined it.
But just the obsession and the focus and
the staring. choosing my victims, but not doing anything.
Yeah, you have a van that's ready, but you just never use it.
I have all these tools, but I don't use those either.
Let the madness overtake you. You know what it is? But not completely sweep you away. Of course, everyone.
Walk to the edge.
You know what I was? I was the slacker serial killer. I never quite could get my ass up and do the actual crime.
Or you're like the serial killer with obsessive compulsive disorder who's like,
you don't like blood.
I can't touch entrails and wool. There must be a chat room for that.
But anyway, that was huge for me. And then over the years on the late night show, you guys would come on. And one of my favorite memories, and I have a still photo of it somewhere, you were touring with the great Jimmy Page. You and your brother, the Black Crows with Jimmy Page.
I mean, we call him, Jim. I'm just kidding. I call him Mr. Page. I'm just kidding.
You call him Sir Page.
Yes, Sir Page.
But you guys did something with him, which was mind-blowing. And then you came over and you sat down and you had said just before the show, you said, "Hey, Conan, I want you to bring out the masturbating bear while I'm sitting there."
That's the only reason I thought he would be here today.
Yeah. That's the only reason you're here.
Now it's like we have a lactating raccoon.
It's a male raccoon.
He's like, here,
still lactating.
We're out of oat milk, but bring that raccoon in here. The raccoon's nipples are like hanging on the table. Like, leave me alone.
Enough.
What's wrong with you?
Get some fucking oat milk.
Like everybody else in Los Angeles.
So, damn it, you can't. So I said yes. So the great thing is that, of course, you and Rich, you know what's going on. You've watched the show before. So you were chatting with Jimmy Page, the creator of Led Zeppelin, when all of a sudden we had the bear come out and start masturbating in front of Jimmy, and you and your brother are howling, laughing. And Jimmy has this look of like, I've seen it all. I'm sorry. And he didn't know what it was, but a bear came out in a diaper and started masturbating in front of him on national television. And he was just like, this happened in 72 in Seattle. My boy.
He's like, I live in Aleister Crowley's home. You know what I mean? This is nothing.
You think a masturbating bear will faze me?
And he's like, and in his mind, he's like, that bear's not really masturbating. He just simply touching the bulge in his diaper very quickly.
My boy, let me show you how it's done. Let me bring out my whips. There was a picture. I got to find it, but I got it framed. I love it so much. And it's you and your brother and Jimmy between you and the bear batting at the bulge in his diaper.
The bear also, because of, I was so excited. I mean, there's the masturbating bear. It's like,
right.
Yes. You know what I mean? Make America great again. Bring that motherfucker back.
So you have said that all those years of touring, the drugs interested you not as much like the sex. Like you'd read about these other heavy metal groups that were into group sex. And you had this great quote where you went, please, group sex is unhygienic. And I was like, he's right. Maybe that's why I've never done it.
Let me tell you something. I don't know why I'm the way I am, but it's like, I didn't do group sex and I don't do all you can eat sushi. You know what I mean? It's like, when you see all you can, I'm like, I don't know if that's something that I want access to as much as I can till I vomit.
Yeah.
Or whatever. It's just weird. I mean, I don't know. I was always a one woman kind of person.
Mm-hmm.
I liked a relationship.
Yep.
Doesn't mean I was very good at them until very recently, and the jury is still out. But I'm like, what if you meet a girl and she doesn't have any big star records? You know what I mean? Like, or like, your shoes don't go with this outfit. Oh, what are you? We're not gonna hang. You know what I mean? I have certain.
Wow, your bar is so high. All they need to know, as far as I'm concerned, is that I was on television. You were a game show host. Good enough.
Yeah.
Were you on a movie or something? Yeah, whatever. Let's go.
I saw you on an episode of Canon.
And To Catch a Predator.
Yeah, whatever, sure. And I did get caught. So what?
No, but you know what I mean? So it was like part of rock and roll is also an extension of like this, there's poets who are like religiously sober in their pursuit of their language and what they want to say. And then there's some who a derangement of the senses is their inspiration. I preferred the latter.
Yeah.
I liked it, the intensity of all of that. And a lot of laughing and fun too.
Well, that's one of the things too is, first of all, just to take people through it, the trajectory that you guys went through, I think in the space of, I don't know if it's like a year maybe, you go from playing to, I think you've said maybe 18 people in a room.
Sometimes I wish it was 18.
18 people in a room, let's say, and a year later, after Shake Your Moneymaker, you're playing to hundreds of thousands of people in Moscow.
All around the world.
And you're how old? How old were you at that time?
23, turning 24.
Yeah. And I've always said, I don't have a lot of experience with drugs, but I defy anyone to find a more powerful drug than group, adulation from a big crowd. I think that goes right into your heart, like very powerful cocaine.
It's funny. Izzy Stradlin from Guns N' Roses invited Rich and I to his house in like early 1990. We were out here. And we were like, that's Guns N' Roses. They're still Guns N' Roses, but then they were like Guns N' Roses, And he was like, oh man, thanks for coming over. I just wanted to meet you guys. And, I don't know if you're prepared for what's going to happen. And we were like, you're going to pay for lunch? I didn't know. I mean, we're prepared for that. I have $8. You know? You just sold 800 million records.
Yeah.
But no, we're not getting lunch. No, never mind. But what fame and he goes, you just hang on. And it's funny, that was, you have no idea. You think about those things. It's the same thing I was teasing before about reading a book or whatever. And, at the end of 1991, we're in Europe, and David Bowie is in a band called Tin Machine with Richter guitar player, who's now in The Cure. Fantastic guitar player, great guy. I haven't seen him in a little while, but we were all in Dublin together. I look back on this day. It was funny. Do you want to have breakfast with me and David Bowie? And I was like, yeah, of course I do. He's paying, right? I'm just kidding.
You're obsessed with that.
I know. Okay. Well, I'm just thinking at the time. But
that water's on us.
I know. Cheers. Thanks. We sit down but at the time I was probably very nervous. But again, I had made one record. My life is changing, but I've made one record. He's fucking David Bowie. I mean, he's Rock's chameleon.
Yeah.
But he's David Bowie. He's already this iconic, he's already this archetype of like a certain thing that we associate culturally with rock and roll. Mm-hmm. What am I going to be like? Well, there was that time I was in the studio last week. You know what I mean? Yeah. I hadn't traveled. I'd been around. I haven't done anything. And he was very aloof. And it wasn't that he was, but I realized like, what did I have to offer that conversation? Even if I'm smart, whatever. It wasn't adding up. We go that night. The Edge has a birthday party at his mansion, and we're invited to that. So Bono was there. He was dressed as Che Rivera, which was what he was. What? He didn't have,
It was Che Guevara night in Ireland. Yeah.
Okay. I mean, he was completely. So I thought he was.
Yeah.
It wasn't Pol Pot, I tell you that. Yeah. But he was.
That was Friday.
Yeah, that was a private party. I didn't think it would be good to have a costume party but it has to be in private, where everyone comes as the worst person in the world. I'm like, there's 2 Jim Joneses here, guys. You're like, well, I thought you were.
Gotta call ahead.
I thought you were coming as Herman Hesse. I'm like, the wrong size boots. God damn it. But I'm not saying Che is a bad person. I'm not at all. He's a revolutionary.
No, sure.
But the point of the story is Bono's like, oh, you're in the Black Crowes. I go, yeah. And he goes, oh, you poor bastard. You'll never sell that many records again. You know that. I was like, Jesus, Bono, I don't know what's going to happen. Oh, I do. I'm Bono. Look at me. I'm in my fatigues, But he said that. And in a way, though, I get it. I always envied you have one record. It's pretty good. The next, that you could terrace up this thing and start to learn your way around an industry and a business that can be horrible. Some of the worst people in the world.
Yep.
Again, it's the same thing when you sign your first record contract and the lawyer goes, "This is the worst thing you'll ever see." I'll sign that. You know what I mean? Like, and you do it because at the time, there's nothing else.
You just played in front of 18 people and someone's saying, we will make this record and we will put it out. Lorne Michaels said to me that one of the truest things, I know it's true now.
And he said, Conan, that's my chair.
He said, that's my chair. It's my show. But he said, because I was, many people would say like I was signing away a lot of things, but I was brand new and
you don't have a lot of leverage.
I had no leverage. And so what he said to me was, he said, look, and he had that kind of my boy, and he was absolutely right. He said, many of the smartest things I've heard about show business have been from Lorne Michaels. And he said, Conan, they take advantage of you for 5 years, then it's your turn. And I didn't know what he was talking about. But, if you put in the time and you can hang in there, then you get to say, if you want more of what I'm doing, I would like to set the terms
now.
Isn't
it weird? Before the Kardashians came on TV, 5 years seemed like a long time. Now it's like 83 seasons of that bullshit. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, it's true. It is true how people.
Just kidding. I've never even seen 5 seconds of it. I just thought.
Yeah.
I thought it would be funny.
No, but it's.
And I don't know if it's funny if you're just being nice.
No.
No, it is pretty funny.
It is very funny. It is. I'm always stunned now it used to be like an epic run if a TV show was on for 6 years. It was like, wow, you guys did 6 years and you're going to go into syndication. And now I'm constantly seeing that a show that I swear to God, sounds like it just went on the air like 3 years ago.
Yeah.
Like not even The Bachelor or The Bachelorette, but Bachelorette's on stilts. And they'll say, we're celebrating our 40th season. And you're like, what happened?
Show came out in 1971? Can I tell you a funny story, though?
Nope, no time.
No. See you guys later.
Bye. Shut the door.
The day we had made Shake Your Moneymaker, it's in the can. It's finished. The artwork is done. They're going to give us the release date. We had a show in a place called Rome, Georgia. There's a boarding school there called Darlington that my dad and Rich actually went to. And they had a little bar up there, and we'd play there occasionally. We drive the van up. It's like 90 miles. And we were called Mr. Crow's Garden, and it just didn't fit. Our little jangly, psychedelic 60s kind of name didn't fit what we were doing. And so, George and everyone said, he needed a new name. We liked the Crows. That's why we keep the E in it, because of the book. Mr. Crow is like a proper noun. So on the way up to this gig, we say in the van, that's it. Today we had like a couple of names. We're the Black Crows. From here, no matter what happens, we are all in on this. Yes, we make that decision. We go to the gig, we set up our gear, we do sound check. There's a band that's opening for us that's like a dad and a daughter and like a cousin, and it's like some family band. I don't know if they were Christians. I don't know what they were doing. And we're like, oh, that's weird. So we go down the street to get something to eat. We come back. Those guys finish their set. We're dressed like we look like, we're doing a gig. It's a real fucking gig. We're the fucking Black Crows. We made an album. We walk out on stage. We fucking open with Jealous Again. The only people in the club are the dad, the daughter, and the cousin. Hold on. And they're sitting there and they're eating Subway sandwiches while we're playing. Four people.
Oh my God.
The opening band, and we're like, Jealous Again. Blah, 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 blah.
Oh, wow.
I'm like, yes. You know what I mean? Like, here we come. World beaters.
Fantastic. You talk about how important chemistry is, and I know, is the band a democracy? Does everyone have a voting say?
I think that this is very hard to answer objectively, but I'll try.
Okay.
I think the five of us, because there's four that you see, myself, Johnny on guitar, Guy plays bass, Will, who's the drummer sommelier, and then Phil, who is our kind of creative director.
And you've known him probably
since we were 13, yeah.
Yeah.
And he was the other person where I grew up who was like, we're going to do this. And we would read books about REM and U2 and the Police. And we were both in a blues band with this slightly older kid who was teaching us about Motown. And we were like, that's what we're going to do. But with no real no real knowledge of how. So for whatever reason, we've all got our gifts in the world. And mine is, I get sent songs and I get a very clear idea of where we're supposed to go as a band. And I get sent ideas all the time for this and this and this and this and this and this and this. And Phil does too, in a different way, for more sort of where we should play, or let's release an album then, or something like that. So to counterbalance that, you have Will and Guy, who, we're not talking about music, we're just talking about how the band operates. They are more of the naysayers in a good way, to make sure we don't do all the stupid ideas, but they sort of pick what actually is good. And that's the same with music, except that on all of our songs, I know this is a long-winded answer, I'm sorry.
No, this is
on all of our songs, they are like a production line, mostly, which is that I get sent sort of the skeleton of the song and the title and everything, and I'll present that, and then Johnny, Guy and Will layer their stuff on it, and it's not finished until they've all either put their parts on it or decided not to. So we always split our publishing royalties, whatever the song is, because it allows people to choose what's best for the song because they're going to get paid either way. So they might say, this doesn't need any drums on it, but I'll still get paid for drumming, so I don't need to put drums on it. Does that make sense?
It makes perfect sense, and I'm down with it except for the payment thing. I do my best to screw the people around me.
I can see that from the threadbare footwear.
I keep saying that's my name up on the marquee, and then I hand them a can of old beans, and they can have that. No, it is. First of all, I think that's very admirable, but it's smart because it means... I think there are bands, U2 comes to mind, that have endured for a very long time because there's a communal sense in the band. And I think that helps a band last longer.
I think U2 probably have a slightly different, but as powerful or more powerful democracy because I think they write slightly differently. Them and REM were the two that we looked to in terms of how you keep the band together.
Yeah.
By sharing credit and money. And that's really proved to be true.
It's funny, your job starts out to make music, and then this other job comes along, and some people can do it and some can't. And in your case, obviously you're great at it, but the stage work of doing a massive concert,
right,
the things, all those skills are not discussed in the entire process of you learning to play music and play music with your friends and write these songs. There's no discussion or thought about, okay, when we're playing the arena, when we're playing the Super Bowl, how do we put this across? That takes all of these skills that a lot of people who could get to the point that you were at musically would say, oh, I can't do that, but you are very adept at it. And I think that's a whole other skill set.
Well, first of all, thanks, Conan. I don't know how to answer something like that in terms of adeptitude. Is that the right word? Aptitude? Okay, keep that in.
Yeah.
This is another place where I feel that we've leaned into being ourselves with no fear of embarrassment, because there's no way I'm as adept on stage as Beyonce or Mick Jagger, but I'm definitely the best at being me.
Right.
So that you can only kind of learn by doing,
yes,
and by loving.
And I guess what I'm saying is, Chris, you put on a show.
Yeah, we do.
You and the rest of the guys, you put on a show, but you are, burning incredible amount of calories. There's a huge, you're giving of yourself, and you're also playing to a massive group of people, and a lot of thought goes into the live show.
Yeah,
because it seems very important to you and the guys that everybody feel and be part of every moment.
Yeah, definitely. I was thinking the other day that a lot of the things that we're really good at as a band are not categories that bands get measured by.
Mm-hmm.
So we might not be the best this or that, or in the top 100 this or that magazine or whatever. But there are some things that we really care about that we're just never assessed for. And the main thing we care about is that interaction and communication, partly for our own sake as humans, wanting to feel alive and not so alone, and sort of sing together and feel that positivity, and partly for our audience so that they can have a great time. More so than ever, that's our priority. So I forget what the question was. I'm so sorry.
I asked you how the First World War started.
Yeah, well, a bit like that.
I try to find common ground with the people I talk to, and it's very hard because you're a rock superstar, and you think, how can I find common ground with this man without seeming completely deranged? But I do know that we both grew up in these environments where what we're doing for a living, or as our art, whatever we want to call it, seemed unimaginable when we were kids. I have read that about you, that when you were a young kid growing up in
southwest of England.
Of England, quiet.
Very
quiet. And you weren't a young boy that was thinking, I have my plan. I'm going to be a music superstar.
Well, it's funny. I was speaking to this 15-year-old yesterday about songwriting. He was asking, how do you know when something's good? And I was trying to explain the duality between absolute self-belief and complete wonder and humility. And I think you have to keep that forever.
Yeah.
But I do think that when I was 12 or 13 and songs started arriving, there was something in me that felt like, oh, these are really special. But then on the other hand, there was nothing nearby to measure it against, or no one even in the region had ever gone out and done that. So it did seem impossible, but I still headed towards it, if that makes sense.
It makes total sense to me because I was fascinated by comedy as a kid. I loved doing it, but I never connected the idea that this could be something I could do.
I feel that no matter where you grow up or in what social strata, if you just have a couple of people say a couple of the right things to you, it boosts you enough to get to the next island.
Yes.
So who did you have saying, you're pretty good, you could do this?
You know, it's funny. It's like a long, slow arc, I think. And this is true for a lot of people, but there's this long, slow arc where there are many little points along the way where I made my friends laugh. And then my parents sent me to a summer camp that I hated away in the woods in Maine. And the kids didn't like me and I didn't like them. And then there was one counselor that he thought I was the funniest thing. Right. And he kept laughing really hard. And he kept saying, are you guys listening to this kid?
What's his name?
I can't remember now. Okay. I can't remember his name, but he single-handedly got me through that summer camp experience. It was all because he thought this kid's really funny. And then that just kept happening. And I know for you, you had...
That's our common ground then.
You had a music teacher.
A couple of people. Then I had... you just reminded me that in the same year, two things happened, which was like a total microcosm of how my whole life has turned out. I played an original song in a school concert and got booed off by a drunk boy in the year above. And at the same time, this dad of a friend who had been in a pretty successful band in England, he came to see a concert and I played another song and he said, you're going to be massive. This happened almost in the same month, you know.
But then the drunk kid came back.
No,
he won't.
No, but funny enough, Conan, the drunk guy showed up backstage in Australia in 2009 and now comes to all of our shows.
Wait, the kid that booed you off stage.
He might still be booing, but there's more people around him. I don't know why he's there, but he's there.
He's the one guy booing at a Coldplay show. I love that.
Either that or he's saying Bruce. which
Springsteen, I've seen him often after show, tears coming down his cheek because he thought he was booed. You're like, no. I know that you took to the piano at around 10, 11?
Yeah, and guitar, yeah.
But guitar was first, I know, yeah.
Yeah, both. I wouldn't say I'm very good at either, but I do what you do, which is explore all the time. And this is another thing I was saying to this young guy yesterday. So many of our songs, the portal through which they arrive is some failure that I've done on the guitar, or I'm playing the wrong thing, but it sounds good.
Right.
Or I'll often tune to a different tuning, so I don't know what I'm doing.
Yeah.
Or play without looking on the piano. So I'm just hearing it. So I don't know if it's correct, if you see what I mean.
Yes.
And often if you analyze our songs after the fact, they're so simple that we would never have allowed ourselves to do that had we known, it's just E to A to B to E.
But it's not, because I know, I mentioned this to you once, I've tried, when I first approach a Coldplay song that I love to play, there's always something like, Yellow's a really good example of that high E string. To play it right and have it sound kind of like, I'm going to say the record, just to date myself, but the recording, that high E string has to be tuned slightly differently, and there's something about it there's always something in your songs, and it's a compliment, that is somewhat different. Do you know what I mean? Even if you think, well, this is just a straight B. No, it's not. No, it's really not.
This goes across my life too, that your limitations become strengths. So really early on, I realized, I'm not going to be the best singer of all time, and I'm definitely not as fast on guitar as my friend Simon, you know, or as Wilson Pickett. I'm not going to be as good a singer as that, or I'm never going to be able to dance like Tina Turner, but maybe I can make things weirdly me.
Yes.
That's what I feel so encouraged about around the whole world right now, is seeing people become themselves, even if it's a bit different.
Yes.
Because that's how I feel about our music, and I don't claim it's the best, but it's definitely the most us.
You did stand up for years.
Yes.
Who was your influence? Who was the person that you were watching when you were young that made you were like that's who I want to be?
I mean, honestly, it wasn't so much stand-ups.
Mhm.
Like, I loved Gilda Radner
Yep,
and Eddie
yep.
Murphy. Like, I would watch his VHS of, Best of Eddie Murphy, Saturday Night Live.
Yeah.
And Steve Martin. And,
Mhm.
I do remember watching Eddie Murphy Raw with my grandmother for some reason. but
But it was at her insistence.
yeah.
We're going to watch it again.
I'm like, no, yeah, she influenced me. I remember Adele Givens on Def Comedy Jam. Def Comedy Jam I used to watch a lot of. But yeah, I wasn't like a crazed stand-up fan like a lot of stand-ups.
You and I were at a social function, and there were a lot of stand-ups there, and everyone was going on listing the stand-ups that influenced them. And I remembered, I can't remember what you said, but we were going around the room, and I was thinking, it wasn't for me neither. It wasn't stand-ups that excited me the most.
Yeah.
It was sketch players and comedic actors that made me really excited about comedy.
Yeah. I mean, listen, lately I don't do stand-up as much. And what I really think about it is there's almost no one I want to hear talk for an hour straight.
Mm.
You know what I mean? Like, I think it's a flawed art form.
Okay, this podcast
we're canceled.
55 minutes. So we
That's
just get you in
different,
under the
though.
wire.
We're both talking. There's an interplay. It's
Yes,
like
I know what you mean.
someone
Yeah.
standing on stage and talking. It's usually, even if I see someone who's amazing, I'm getting a little fatigued around 45
Isn't there an
minutes.
element too of who do you think you are?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And honestly,
But I always
he
want.
so hate stand-up.
But you say that about a lot of things.
That's true.
Like when you go to a doctor for an opinion, and they're
yeah.
saying, "Well, if I were you, who do you think you are?"
Yeah.
Dermatologist, my ass. No, my feeling is I always want there to be another reality to come in. So I was so happy doing late night because I could be talking and a man could interrupt me from the audience who's dressed in a beekeeper's outfit and a whole other reality could come out. That's the world I always wanted to live in.
Yeah.
I wanted to start doing something or talking as a normal person, but then I wanted to be stopped by either a bear wearing a diaper or a guy pretending to be a gold miner. And then I wanted maybe some tape to be involved that took us to a different reality. That was the world that I was always happy with.
Yeah, I like that interplay and the whole comedy game and the playfulness of those kinds of moments. And so, yeah, I think for me, stand-up, it was one of these things where I kind of love-hated it and I kind of just kept doing it and I was kind of good at it, but I never what I realized, I would get off stage and I don't feel good. But most comedians I know get off stage and feel incredible about themselves. They're
Right.
on a high. Whereas I'm like the one person who didn't laugh, the joke I forgot, whatever it is, I feel like I'm fixating on,
What didn't happen.
yeah. Or comparing it to my best show I've ever had and it doesn't live up
Did you do a lot of improv?
I do, when I do stand-up, I do like to riff a lot, but I
Yeah.
definitely write my jokes.
Yeah.
I was just talking to Niles Abston, this younger comedian, and he was saying he goes on stage and just talks to develop material. And I was like, that sounds so terrifying to me. I would definitely write jokes and then try to play when I felt loved and speed talk if I don't.
I would be so afraid too of, you can come up with something really lovely on stage in front of people, and that's joyous. But I always want to go out there armed with thoughts that I've bounced off other people, that I don't know.
Yeah, you want to have something that you're guaranteed to win with. It's a good feeling. I mean, although I've always kind of wanted to be more Kaufman-like. What if I went out and all I did was say one word over and over, or whatever. And I would try to do bits like that and bail on them because it's just not my personality.
Right.
If I'm bombing, I talk really quickly. And my friend Brendan, I noticed if he's bombing, not that I've ever seen it, but he slows down, which I thought was fascinating.
It's almost daring.
Yeah.
It's that thing of, okay, you're not giving me what I want. And I understand that. I think I'm just going to slow down.
Yeah.
I have found at times because we did so much volume material for so many years,
right.
And a new audience, another audience, an audience, 5 hours a week. It felt like 40 weeks a year. You're just like, oh my God. There were times when it wasn't clicking, and I would almost, in a masochistic way, the way you pick at a scab or a wound, I'd be like, oh man, they're not with me. I'm going to enjoy this. I'm going to enjoy this silence right now. I found it usually wasn't the way to go, but there were times when it felt like it saved my sanity anyway.
Yeah, I think that's what people loved about you, because I feel like, I don't know, it's like, then it feels like we're on your team. We're relating to, like, yeah, this can't, there's challenges and.
Well, I liked we'd always start the show with jokes, and I like good jokes, but the jokes weren't the point. The jokes were just a device to get me to, okay, I just told the joke, and then live in that moment and try and find something organic. But that's where I was happier. I was happier with that than I was. The joke was just a thing that got me to that.
Yeah, like I like in acting, comedy acting, I like to be the person that's like, this is crazy. You're all crazy, and I feel like you were doing that a lot as well, like surrounding yourself by insanity that you clearly approved. I
was there at rehearsal. My favorite thing was to act like, what is happening?
Yeah, like balking at it.
Yeah, no, this is wrong. And then it's like, no, I was at rehearsal. I was there the night before. I'm part of all of this, but I love pretending.
Yeah.
Whereas actually a lot of the madness here is there is no script with this, but there are many times where I'm quite upset with both of you.
Yeah. Most of the time.
Yeah, that seems to be the secret formula.
Yeah.
Me just raging. I was curious because you and I have a similar experience, which is did you temp for a while?
I did, yes.
I temped also in the leaner times of my career. I was a temp.
Yeah.
And I had the experience of when I'm in a world like that, when I was either a student or when I was working a serious job, I wasn't at all funny. I was just did what people needed me to do and kept my mouth shut, to the point where later on, when teachers found out that I was having success in comedy, they were stunned.
Yeah.
Because I remember it as a temp, just doing the work, and then I was in between writing jobs with my partner, Greg Daniels, who you know.
Who I love, yeah.
Oh, well, let's just say you know him.
I love the guy. You know why? Lemon cakes alone.
Yes.
Lemon cakes, Christmas lemon cakes. I did get those for a span of years.
I've never gotten one from Greg.
Really?
No.
I don't think he sends them anymore, or I'm not on the list anymore, but delicious.
Greg, of course, who's created so many great shows, The American Office and Parks and Rec, and he's brilliant. We started out as writing partners together.
Wow, I didn't know that.
And worked together for years, and we're still very close. He did one of the funniest things, which is that he showed up at one of my Christmas parties about 7 years ago with this giant tower. He walks in the door with this giant tower wrapped in plastic of like fruit and nuts, and it's all very exotic. And I look at it and it says, to Greg from the sound editing team at H&B, and Greg had crudely crossed it out and wrote, "Love Greg," making no attempt to hide the re-gift. And I loved that more than any real gift. It was so funny that he could have gotten me.
Yeah, that's pretty good. One time I was at, I think it was Aspen Comedy Festival, and I received a large fruit basket, and I was like, oh my God, the festival sent me this fruit basket. And all my friends were like, what? We didn't get one. And everyone's like jealous and upset. And then my mom was like, did you get the fruit basket? And I realized it was from my mom, and it was another crushing blow in a series of crushing blows.
Shouldn't it have been nicer that it was from your mom?
No. I thought it was like, hey, best of the fest. Here you go. Pineapple.
A phone call. There's a phone call here. Someone saying they love you very much. Is it the industry? No, it's your mother. Then fuck it.
Send it to the voicemail.
Yeah. I love you and I'll always cherish you. Is it Warner Brothers? No. It's your mother and father. Fuck! What's wrong with us? That's terrible.
I know. It's really broken.
It's
broken,
very broken.
People.
That Aspen Comedy Festival, I know we're all over the map, but these are my favorite interviews. That Aspen Comedy Festival was the craziest thing in the world, because in the the heyday of the Aspen Comedy Festival, I don't know who was running this thing, but they just threw money at it.
Yeah.
And I'd be in New York and they'd say, hey, Conan, do you want to come out and interview Steve Martin and all of your comedy heroes? And I'd be like, yeah. And they'd say, great. And then they'd fly me out there and they'd say, here's a parka that says Aspen Comedy Festival.
Diamond encrusted skis.
Diamond encrusted skis. And I'd say, are these blood diamonds? And they'd go like, maybe. No, it's just, you just were like, who's paying for all this? And then I guess someone took over the festival and looked at the books and said, this is insane.
The books were cooked.
The books were, I don't know what was happening there.
This is actual cocaine on these mountains.
Yeah, exactly. There's actual cocaine on the mountain. And there was a whole slope where you could just ski on Rolexes. And I was like, this just feels wrong. But okay, I guess I'll go.
Yeah, all the affluence of yesteryear. Like every writer's room I was in, they're like, we used to eat steaks every day, and like then it would be like even at Brooklyn, they would cross out a certain dollar amount entree. Like you could only order under.
No, it's funny. I come to NBC in 1993 to do the late night show. And my introduction is to go to an upfront, which is where all the advertisers get together.
Love upfronts.
Oh, my God.
So chill.
No one ever.
Love upfronts. No, but I go to an upfront because they say, oh, it's this new kid, Conan O'Brien. You'll see. It's going to be something. You'll see. And which was a terrible slogan, by the way. That's the best around. You'll see. He'll be something, I suppose. I don't know why Norm Macdonald is saying it, but I show up and huge ice sculptures of peacocks. And then, you got to think about it was Friends. It was Cheers. It was.
Wow.
And so giant fountains that, I'd heard of liquid chocolate fountains, but just craziness. It was madness. And then I'll never forget one of the last upfronts I went to, it was a tent that was leaking because it was raining and it was a cash bar. And that was over, I want to say that was like a 15-year period, but that was just how things changed. And now now it would be like an individual camping tent and everyone gets to go inside. I don't know. It was, there was a crazy time there where there were 3 or 4 networks and they would do things like, I missed this phase, but they would tell me, 2 years ago, it was a cruise. And all the advertisers were taken on a cruise and massive stars mingled with them. And everybody was eating, squab. I don't even know what squab is.
That's delicious.
But it sounded like madness. And it is very, very different times.
Yeah, it's like Robin Leach set up a promise, in my youth. Remember Runaway with the Rich and Famous? And like I watched that, I'm like, wow, like this is gonna be me someday. And then now it's like Eat the Rich. I'm like, ugh. Wrong timeline,
Where is Robin Leach? I'm sure he's passed on to his reward.
He's gotta be buried in.
He's in the best place in heaven.
A golden casket.
I don't know where he is. He's definitely
he died.
Yeah, sure. 2004.
2018.
Longer than I thought.
Oh, recently.
Wow.
Well, anyway, I had the same thing where there was.
I thought Dog the Bounty Hunter died, and I used to do a joke about it where I go, Dog the Bounty Hunter died. Yeah, I know that one hurts, or this one hurts, or something. And then someone just told me he's alive, and that was fake.
It was him at a show.
I thought he died.
He stood up. Excuse me.
It was fake.
No.
Can you look up another death? Is this your death research?
Yeah.
Yes.
Eduardo.
Yes.
Hey, Eduardo, am I still alive?
This is Death Styles of the Rich and Famous.
Let's just spend the remainder of our time looking up celebrity deaths.
Dog is with 2 G's.
No, he's still alive.
Yeah, he's still
it's
alive.
not like the hog. Dague.
You know what we should do? We should turn this whole podcast into Who's Alive and Who's Dead.
That's a good
His
one.
wife died.
Maybe that's what it was.
Yeah.
Yeah. Try not to be all smiley when you say that. Eduardo just said that with the biggest smile. Like that's a terrible, tragic loss.
His wife died.
I'm just glad I found the right information.
Yeah, well, just think about what you're saying.
What a win for you.
Okay.
What a win.
That's why they won't let you work at the hospital anymore, Eduardo. Your grandpa's dead. Eduardo, I was just happy that I had the right information. Okay, so you see what our podcast is like.
I love it.
And it's a train wreck, but we like that
stupid.
part of it.
Yeah.
Tell us about yours. Call Chelsea Peretti. I want to talk about this because you're a delightful person. I would listen to you for hours and hours and hours. I really would. So
Whoa.
I want to hear about the podcast.
Great news. I've recorded many episodes. It is a reboot of a podcast that I started, I forget when, but a long time ago, like 2014, 2011.
Before there were podcasts.
Yeah, basically. Kind of it was like the time where podcasts felt like zines and not that many people had them. Now it's like everyone's a brand and yada, yada. But I take phone calls from random people. I just post the number and people call and it puts me into my fight or flight mode, which I think is a funny place to be for me.
Great place to be, yeah.
Yeah, so I just take calls and then I have sound effects that I play and I have topics. I have an obsession with bear attack survivors.
Let's talk about that. Listen, I have, just so you think that I read widely and weirdly. I have read many books. I have read many books about bear attacks.
And Sona lives in bear country, right?
I do. There's so many bears in Altadena.
Yeah.
They're
He
all
read
over
the book
place.
called The Third Reich Bears Training Regiment.
Yeah.
All your books somehow.
One of their when they invaded Poland, it was mostly bears that went in. And they were all hyped up on benzos. And they were wearing long leather coats.
Elizabeth Banks' movie is loosely based on
the invasion of Poland. But anyway, so what have you learned about bear attacks? Because this fascinates me.
Well, they can run around 40 miles an hour.
What?
Yeah.
Yeah, you can't try to outrun a bear.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
I've learned that groups of 3 are statistically much less likely to be attacked than 1 or 2 people. So if you're ever walking around in bear country, bring 2 friends. But yeah, I mean, the whole time I had my first run, I was like, bear attack survivors, call in. Not a smart strategy to get a bear attack survivor because it's just statistically unlikely. You're a statistics guy.
I love it because I come from improv. Yes, I am. I know my stats.
So you get that. And so anyway, this time I just I trolled around online and I found bear attacks and I had my producer reach out to those survivors and see if they would come. So I've gotten 2 so far.
Whoa.
And so they were attacked and they survived.
Yeah.
Okay. But what I'm saying is, were they, are these chilling stories?
Well, that's the thing that I'm like always trying to calibrate. Like, what's the perfect level of bear attack for it to still be funny and register comedic?
Wow. Very light attack if it's still going to be funny.
A light mauling. Yeah. Because there's a guy that had
that's a cuddle.
A SWAT. But like the guy I just had, he was 17 and a grizzly bear attacked him. He was alone on a mountaintop and sees a grizzly bear barreling toward him. Can you imagine? And so,
this is good. Yeah.
So the bear like lunged at him to kind of like see if he would flinch, and then it slapped him. That was what I thought was comedic. It actually slapped him.
But keep in mind, a slap from a grizzly bear can take your head off.
Yeah. It basically, he said, I mean, it actually, I hate to say it, it really did sound cartoonish, and I'm really into sequences of actions as well as sounds. He said the bear said chomp or clack his teeth right by his head and then slapped him. So clack, slap. Then his body flew up horizontally and the bear, before he hit the ground, bites his thigh.
Jesus.
Yeah.
Now, did he lose any limb?
No. But he lives with like constant pain.
Why did he let the guy go? Why did the bear let the guy go?
They do sometimes. He
passed out.
Yeah.
Oh. Yeah. So you know a little bit about this.
No, I've read a bunch of books about bear attacks. And
you really have?
I have.
What are you supposed to do? Curl up?
Well, it depends. There's black bears, there's brown bears. Oh. You're better off in general encountering a black bear.
Yeah.
Grizzlies are scary. They're usually not a problem. They're, just as afraid of us as we are of them.
Would you come on my podcast as a bear expert?
I'll come, you know what I want to do? I want to come on as a bear. We're talking to a grizzly here.
I did have to ask the guy, like, would it be triggering to you if I played a bear growl sound effect?
That's terrible. This man almost lost his life to a bear, and you said lives in constant pain, and you can't get that out without laughing.
I feel better
Well,
now.
I
You feel better, Eduardo. Turns out you're not the sociopath in the room.
We are kinfolk, you know. But yeah, so he listen. He came on a comedy podcast.
Yeah, he
so
knew
I
what he was
figured
doing.
he would be all right with it.
Yeah.
Like he was like the most kind, sweet guy. Couldn't have happened to a better person. But the truth is like there's really nothing you can do is really what it comes down to.
Yes.
Unless you're holding bear spray for the entire hike. But he was on a 40-day camping trip.
Oh, that's on him then.
And it was on day
deserved it.
29.
Yeah. That's why I only stay in hotels.
Uh-huh.
Nice hotels.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And still, I've been attacked several times.
Offline, I'd love to hear what your favorites
on the
are.
elevator. No, that's the other thing too. Is the more you read about bear attacks, the more there is no like certain rule. There just isn't. There mostly it's don't surprise them.
You always
So
hear that, like, for
wear
a brown
bells.
or a black, one you're supposed to play dead, one you're supposed to get big and make a lot of noise. Is that
If
that's
it's
not true?
brown,
Flush
lay
it
down.
Right.
Oh, that's what it is. I'm literally confusing.
If it's yellow,
learned
let it
nothing.
mellow.
You're totally mixing these
If
things
it's
up.
black, let
It's
it
a
stack.
mixed metaphor or something. Yeah.
If the bear slaps, wear a cap. That's why there isn't one thing you're supposed to. I mean, it varies so much. But I think the big things are make noise as you walk, which is why when
Right,
you're in
but-
bear country, you're supposed to wear like a bell so that you don't surprise bears. And the other
Right.
thing is,
For all types of bears, this holds true. It just feels like we should get this right.
You're supposed to hit a cowbell. Like,
Eduardo, you got
like
this.
how annoying would that get?
yeah,
Like, honey,
doink, doink, doink. Then the bears attack because they really hate
they're annoying.
the sound.
They're like,
Yeah.
I was trying to hibernate, and you're just
Doink, 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 doink. Well, why do you? Also, you're not supposed to be rhythmically bopping from side
You
to
have
side.
to enjoy it, otherwise, what's the point? You got
Jennifer Samples, who is a producer for Team Coco and a huge outdoor person, just texted me saying, "Black attack, brown lay down."
Oh, nice.
Wait, wait a minute. You're supposed to attack a black bear?
That's what she said.
Don't.
And then, and then she put a nerd
It's a
emoji.
I want. Can I just say something? I want to legally distance myself. Hey, if you see a black bear and it's hundreds of yards away from you, attack it!
She's listening and
Why
texting
don't we
me.
just
in
go
real
on the
time.
offensive now? Let's go get all the black bears.
She said, and then she because she's listening to us right now. She says, "Yeah, get big
For the
black bear.
Okay.
Get
No,
big."
but what I'm saying is, this whole thing of you attack it sounds
is
crazy
great.
to me.
I thought
it was black fight back.
Well, fight
Black
back.
fight
Yes,
back.
Who
fight
creates
back is
these?
different than black because again, I just don't want people listening to this and they're at the zoo and they see a black bear behind bars and they squeeze in there and start wailing on it. I see you. Remember, when it's black, you must attack. No, it's sedated and it's behind bars. Oh no!
Like, are these official limericks from the Parks and Recreation Department? Like, who comes up with these?
Yeah, did they find the rhyme first and they're like, it's
Yeah.
50-50, but it's a good rhyme.
Sometimes they have really good
Yeah.
advice, but it doesn't rhyme.
Yeah.
So they don't tell it to you.
Right.
They're like, nothing rhymes with pigeon, so we won't tell people about the killer pigeon.
A smidgen.
Right.
We actually play this game with my son. We go, well, when he was little, we go like, nothing rhymes with smidgen. And then da-da-da. And one was, nothing rhymes with pony. And I swear he was like 3 years old and he said, Nina Simone.
No! Prodigy.
And I was like, holy shit, this kid. But I don't want him in the biz. He's really into it now.
No.
6 years old. I'm like, don't do it. I really want him to be a marine biologist.
That's what we all want for our children.
Yeah.
Yeah. I can't believe our producer, Jeff Ross, admitted to me once. For years, I've been like doing a Jeff impression, which is basically
Jackie Mason.
Jackie Mason going like, let's get some soup. Let's go. Blah, blah. And then, he's all about the business and he's all about, he's reading the trades and let's go. Let's get out here. Let's go to a good restaurant. And then he told us once, I want to be a marine biologist. And I said, and then I just pictured Jeff at the bottom of the sea, like texting different aids.
Instead,
Yeah, and the most little bubbles. And when the bubbles hit the surface, it's like, let's get some soup.
Yeah.
But but the most exotic, rare fish in the world will go by. But Jeff is busy texting. Can they get me into Craig's?
Craig's is not even that good.
Don't say that.
Wow.
You know what I love? I know
the chicken,
never
truffle
been.
chicken.
I don't.
That's good.
I've been to Craig's like twice, but one of the funny things is I once went, and I didn't know this, but there's the paparazzi hang out outside, and it was hilarious because I had just come from a Robert Caro event where I was reading. He was talking about his works. Famous biographer of Lyndon Johnson. That's what I'm doing in my spare time. And I walk from that event with the book that he signed for me. And I step out, and all the paparazzi put up their cameras to like, oh, you know, it's Conan. Let's just get this in case he dies tomorrow. We got one. Yeah. And I just hold up the book. And because they're clicking away, and because I'm holding up a biography of Lyndon Johnson, all the cameras go down. And it was like putting up a cross in front of vampires. I tried to turn my moment with the paparazzi into a teachable history moment. And all the cameras just went.
Did you ever look for it?
Oh, and if someone can find me holding... Yeah, a Robert Caro book online walking into a restaurant.
Search Conan Craig's Getty images. I think I'm very good at Google searching. I'm trying to come for your job.
My guess is it doesn't exist because I think at that point they all smashed their cameras.
Yeah, they don't post the rejects. All those guys quit the biz.
They all became missionaries after that day. But they're all doing the Lord's work in various. Look, Eduardo can't find it. Of course you can't find it.
Wait, look up LBJ going to Craig's. Maybe that'll work.
Yeah, you'll see Lyndon Johnson there.
I see why you keep this guy around.
We have other things in common, which will drive our listeners even more insane. We're both history buffs, and then when you get into the Civil War, it can get a little intense. Was that a passion when you were young?
So I grew up in Atlanta, and it's just kind of around you a lot. Like when you grow up in a place like Atlanta, there were so many markers, and we would literally find musket balls like in the yard, or like weird artifacts here and there. Battles all over the place. And my dad had a whole shelf of books on Civil War history. And it just was, it was most history about conflict, about wars was so abstract, but for some reason the Civil War being in the South, it was like I could read about places that I knew, like places that I had visited, or places where I had like gone to summer camp, or different, and these battles were just wild. And it's just, as I got older and understood the context more, like it's such a profoundly tragic war on so many levels.
Yes. Yeah.
And there's just not a lot of things quite like it in the history of.
Well, also at the time, especially, no one had ever seen a war like that before. I mean, Europeans, people from Britain and France were coming over just to observe because.
Is that true?
Oh yeah, they were, because. War on this scale, using what at the time was this new technology, relatively new technology. Things had become so sophisticated, and there were ironclads, and massive shells are being invented, and the armies are huge. The armies are just massive. The Army of Northern Virginia is huge. The Northern Army is massive, Army of the Potomac, and it's so nothing like that had happened before. And then on that scale, and so obviously, as you know, the casualties were huge. And I would just think, growing up in the South, I was always fascinated by the South, and of course, I grew up in Massachusetts, so we had Revolutionary War stuff. I could go out to Lexington and Concord, and
I feel it there too. My sister lives in your hometown of Brookline now, and it feels so visceral. The Revolutionary War feels so present there. I don't know. Maybe you and I just have like a antenna for it.
It's funny, if you grew up in Massachusetts, that's the war you talk about. But if you go down south, and I've driven around Georgia, You can pass through Andersonville and know that, like, oh, there was shortly after my marriage, I tried to take my wife on I took my wife on a trip through Georgia, and I kept saying, and we visited all these Civil War sites. And then I said, now we're off to Andersonville. And she said, what's that? And I said, it's the prisoner of war camp where tens of thousands of people died of diarrhea.
And you're still married?
Yeah. And trust me, that did not happen. She said, no, we're not doing that. And I said, but I'm telling you, we've got to go.
And you couldn't even say dysentery. You had to say diarrhea.
I had to say diarrhea. And then she said, no, we're going back to Atlanta. We've seen the other stuff. I've been a good sport, but we're not looking at the diarrhea fields. And so we went back, and this is my fun story. We pull into Atlanta, and we go into our hotel, and we're sitting in the lobby of the hotel, and a waiter comes over and hands us each an appletini in these new sliced glasses. And we didn't order these. And we said, we didn't order these appletinis. And he went, compliments of Mr. Barkley. And Charles Barkley was at the bar. And I had never had an appletini before, but I did go up to him and say, Sir Charles, why the appletini? He said, you look like a guy who would drink an appletini. Needless to say, I love Atlanta. I really do. It was fantastic.